Welcome to Woman Over 50. I'm your host, Linda Barnby, and I have with me today Joyce Buford. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, great to be here.
It's so nice to chat with you today. I wanted to bring you on because what you teach to women really embodies what Woman Over 50 is attempting to do in helping women step into their power and to lead fulfilling lives. So if you'll let me, I'll just share a little bit with our audience about who you are and what you do.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Joyce Buford is an effortless happiness strategist who has reinvented herself more than a dozen times. I can resonate with that. Her private and group coaching programs focus on helping women who have experienced their own transitions find their voice and finally ask for what they really want. Anytime a woman goes through something like a divorce, a career change, death of a loved one, or an illness, they need to honor that time by going inward to get clear on what would make them feel fulfilled, and purposeful. Mm-hmm. Joyce was personally mentored by Jack Canfield, who you know as the Chicken Soup for the Soul series author. And Joyce has her own weekly podcast called Second Wind with Joyce that she's been doing for quite a while. And she has a growing community of over 1 million women who have conquered some life-changing transitions. So welcome, Joyce. So glad to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking me to be on your program. It's great.
Well, you are just delightful, and I'm so glad to be your friend. And I want to start by asking you a question, because I know in your program, which I think you call it Uncover Your Hidden Genius System,
yes,
you help people first, you help them first discover what their core values are.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so share with us, first of all, what are core values?
Well, core values are what we all believe. Now, we get them through our environment, our growing environment. Mom and dad gave us theirs, shared theirs with us. And it's from area of country you live, the family you were raised in, your siblings. It's a collection of all of their input that help you create your value, what you believe in, what you honor, what you think is important in your life. So that's how we get them. Core values are with us always. And many people don't realize the importance of living in your core values. Now, because living with your core values means that you are honoring who you are. So in my program, as you mentioned, I always start with getting clear about who you are. Because, as women, we are mothers, we are single, then we are business women, we are mothers, we are so many transitions that we go through. And by the end of the time when our children leave the nest and we move on to a new career or whatever it might be, we really need to reconnect with who we are. Because we've been giving and giving and giving of our time and ourselves. So it's a good time to go, okay, let me look at me.
Right. Yeah, and we don't usually have the tools to do that. We just kind of start thinking about it without really having any framework or system or process to thoroughly delve into who we are and what we want. And so I know your program is ideal for that, because it talks about and helps train women how to delve deeply, and you take them through that process. So I know that a lot of women have a great deal of stress in their lives because they're juggling so many different balls, as you mentioned, career, family, and then also now at this time in their lives, trying to uncover who they are and what they want to be. A lot of stress, Joyce, right?
Yeah. One of the common things that happens is that we lose our voice many times in relationships and as being the mother. And it's really important to reconnect with the voice, because the voice is a reflection of what's inside.
Right.
So I found in my transition, I didn't know who I was. So I went through the whole process myself at the age of 50, where I rediscovered who I was and what I wanted and what I liked about Joyce. You know?
It's like, there you are.
Yes,
There you are.
go through.
Right.
You are a person. You do have likes and wants and desires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you uncovered some things that were a surprise to you as well when you went through that process.
Of course.
What did you discover about yourself, Joyce, that you want to share?
This is, well, okay. All right. I love to live with beautiful things around me. And so my home has beautiful things in it, like museum type of things.
Oh.
But there are also things that make me happy. And for a long time, I felt guilty about doing that because I would bring those things into my home and people would come in and they'd say, oh, this is like a museum. And to me, it was my home. It was what made me happy. And for the first time, once I did my values, I accepted that part of me as not a extravagance, but as a part of who makes me, what I love. And I look at these things and they make my day happy.
Yeah.
You know, we all have our treasures, our treasured things that are around us, you know, which could be a little penny from some trip. It's whatever it is. But putting that around us is important.
Yeah, well, that's a really interesting thing, Joyce. That you may have felt a little guilty about having something in your life that brought you a great deal of pleasure, and how wonderful to finally accept that and own that, and keep enjoying what you enjoy.
Yeah.
So having beautiful things is part of your core values, and I
Yes.
bet you having those beautiful things around you helps de-stress your life. And I know that having your core values is something that you preach as helping people be able to de-stress their life. So
Right.
can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, you know, I just did my book, which is a
Yes.
tool that people can use. It was a tool I used. And
And what's the title of it, Joyce?
Effortless Happiness. Now, you know, we're all entitled to happiness. That's our gift
Yeah.
above. But making it effortless is the step of connecting with your core values. The more you live and accept who you are, the idiosyncrasies of liking beautiful things in one's home, or whatever brings you joy, that's where you want to connect. Because then you are working in your genius, what I call genius, which is your treasures, what makes you different from me, from Linda.
Yeah.
It identify. However, I do love your house. I think I can move here.
My funky sunroom with my zebra.
I love it. But if it's when we realize that we do have these unique qualities and how we can use them in our lives, get more of them, you know, those are what make us come alive.
Well, and not feel guilty about it, right, Joyce? I mean, so often we as women, we feel, well, we have subjugated our own needs many times for our families, our children, our spouses, our career, everyone and everything around us who needs our attention because we're the caretakers, right?
Right. We
And
did it well.
yes, yes. Yes, and so we feel guilty sometimes taking time for ourselves and even identifying what is important to us and brings us that joy. So I think what you're doing is wonderful. It's needed for so many women making transitions in their lives, and just reaching the age of 50 or any age after that is a transition in itself, regardless if you're not even going through a divorce or, you know, haven't, suffered any kind of a loss or illness or anything. Just moving into that change of life requires a new set of eyes on who you are and your life. So how do you find using your core values in your everyday life?
Well, first, I'm doing those things that I love. I'm with those things that I love. So it's feeding my inner spirit to keep me in a happy, positive mood. Okay.
Mhm.
So I wanted to share with you this one thing, because for the woman that is making, perhaps maybe she's retiring, something totally new. She's never done that before. I spoke at a workshop with some State Farm ladies, and their biggest question was, I don't remember what I used to love to do.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we don't realize how we isolate ourselves from those things that give us pleasure. So, no matter where you are in your life, whether you're building a career or retiring for a different direction in your life, knowing your values, your core values, is what you need to implement into your life
Mm.
in a different way, perhaps, than you would have thought in the past. You might have done in your 20s. The painting thing is very important for some women. They
Yes.
painted in younger life, they gave it up, and now they need to reconnect with it,
Right.
because it gave them pleasure once. It will indeed give them pleasure again. And so that's the value of core values. That is the value of having those in your life, recognizing what they are and implementing them.
Well, and how does finding your core values and then starting to use those things, like, for example, you said a love of painting, or writing again, writing in a journal, or
Yes.
starting a
Oh,
novel,
yes.
or starting to dance again, or whatever it is. How does that help people find their voice?
Well, the more confident you are, it all starts with the energy of being happy. Okay, if you're happy with who you are, then you are more confident. Being confident allows you to speak. I have words that people can hear. I know my values. I know my worth.
Hmm.
Worth is a big word.
Yes.
Know my worth because I know what I value. And because of that, I can share that with the world. And it just gives you confidence.
Yeah.
You can step into any situation, social, business, and have something to say.
Well, and what I have found in my lifetime is that confidence and having the ability to use your true voice is a muscle.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't use it for a while, it just becomes limp, and you don't think you have that ability anymore.
Yeah.
But if you continue to exercise it, it's just like exercising your muscles in your body. It's something that if you can routinely do and practice and do it the right way with the right tools, then you're going to be more and more confident. Your confidence and your voice are both going to grow.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And
I'd
you're going to
like,
be happier. You're going to be able to do more. Don't you think?
yes. Do we have time for me to go to the other direction?
Sure.
Okay. I want to show how not knowing your core values can also work to add stress to your life. And
Okay.
the stress is, the common thing is to go out with old friends, or friends that we had in married life, and now that we're in maybe single, they don't work anymore. When they're not in sync with you, and I'm going to use the word of honesty. If you're with a friend that has honesty issues, she doesn't tip, he doesn't tip, they don't tip, and you have this issue of wanting to give back. Okay, you were a waitress as a young girl, and so you know the value of that tip.
Hmm.
But the people you're hanging with don't. And so it agitates you when at the end of the meal, you're going to experience this with them. And it's a building thing. Every time you're with them, you're going to go through the same frustration and stress.
Right.
This is where you need to make decisions like, this is important to me. Honesty is important to me. And I need to choose those people to be with, to socialize with, that have similar values that I do. Otherwise, you experience added stress to your life. This is not easy because people will go, oh, but we've been friends for 10, 15 years. That's true, but you don't have to go out with them every Friday night.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. And what they say is what is the saying? The 5 friends who are your closest to, that reflects who you are. That is who you are. So, and I recently wrote an article for Woman Over 50, Joyce, where I was doing a little research about friendship and loneliness and making friends. And what I discovered is that sociologists say that we lose our friends every 7 years through job changes and who we change into be as people,
Yes.
death, if we have young children, then, those friends move away as our children move into different after school activities. So that there's a process of friends changing. So that's an opportunity, isn't it,
It
for
really is.
women to exercise the muscle of making friends, and in the course of doing that, using their core values to find the new friends that are going to support who they're becoming.
Yeah, I think people sometimes think that they're betraying somebody if they move on in a relationship.
Yes.
They're really not. They're just growing, and growing is part of life.
Yeah.
So it happens. Friendships come in, friendships go out, and they need to allow people. We need to be willing to let friends go if they don't fit us anymore.
Right.
You're right. That's a great article. I'll go back and read it.
And the beautiful thing about today and Facebook and other such platforms is that you can keep all of your friends. Maybe not spend as much time going out to dinner with them on Friday night, but you still get to keep them while
Yes.
you're making new friends, right?
You want to hear from them on your birthday. I love Facebook birthdays. So I mean, they're the greatest. Oh, I love them. I don't even mind my years.
Oh, well, Joyce, it's just a pleasure to talk with you. And I just love what you've shared with the Woman Over 50 audience today. And we're going to put how to reach you at the bottom of our article on the website, womanover50.com. And so people will be able to reach out to you and find out more about your podcast, Second Win with Joyce, and your book, Effortless Happiness, and also your programs that you have available for women who want to dive a little bit deeper.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Well, Joyce, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure and honor to speak with you.
Thank you. It's been fun, Linda.
Wonderful.